back. You've joined our small group of riders from HOG Auckland Chapters. We're making our way back up the South Island. On this video we're going to be travelling from Amberley through to Hanmer Springs, which is quite a nice little ride. We started off on State Highway 1, leaving from Amberley there. We turned off onto State Highway 7, Waipara Flat Road, and from here we make our way inland, kind of away from the east coast. And looking back at this video, one thing I remember now that I'd quite forgotten was as with our crossing of the Central Otago Plains, across this flatland here, we started to hit some serious wind, as you can see from the rider in front of me, good mate Tony. He's really having to, you can see the effect of the wind on his bike there, he's really having to push hard to the right to keep it upright. Anyway, we eventually come up to Wer Pass Road, quite a scenic little route, but on this particular journey through, this was mid-November, the road was riddled with roadworks, so we did go from traffic light to traffic light, even in the middle of nowhere here. Just kept in one little taste of it here, not that there's anything much exciting about it, but just to let you know, it wasn't all plain sailing. Every now and again we had to stop in the pretty hot conditions and wait for traffic to pass. Now we eventually got into clear air again once we passed the little settlement of Waikari, and we ended up on Kaka Road. And on here the group got a little bit separated. We found ourselves held back by a truck here, nothing he could do about it. He was just going on his own way, and as with all open road overtaking, you wait for your moment when it's free and clear to do the overtaking manoeuvre, and when you get that chance you take it, and you take it quick as you can. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the road any longer than necessary, so get out there, give that throttle a good twist, get back on the correct side of the road, and here we are catching up to the rest of the crew. Now we went through quite a bit more of straight road riding through some pretty scenic countryside before the road morphed into the delightfully named Mouse Point Road. I don't know where Mouse Point is. Maybe we passed it, maybe we didn't, I'm not sure. But certainly the countryside started to get quite interesting here, and we were travelling at this point alongside a river whose name escapes me. I think it's the Oamaru River? I'm not sure anyway. One thing is for sure, the river does accompany us pretty much all the way up through until the Hanmer Springs turn-off, which is coming up ahead, where we depart State Highway 7 and move on to State Highway 7A on Hanmer Springs Road. But first we've got to negotiate our way past a farm vehicle. Every now and again on these country roads you're going to come across a pretty large farm vehicle moving equipment or stock or whatnot around the place, and that's just what we had up here. Even he was pretty kindly moved as far as he could to the left so we could slip past. And then coming up ahead where the tree line's at, up there is the turn off to Hanmer Springs Road, so that's where we're heading now. And soon after turning onto this road we come to the Fery Bridge. Fabulous little bridge. It's an uncontrolled intersection, one lane bridge, so you can't just go ripping around there. You've got to be mindful of the traffic, wait your turn, and when you're good to go, take that crossing. And here we go, heading over there. The view right and left is pretty spectacular. I didn't spin my head because I was just trying to keep an eye on the road ahead. It was quite some time ago that we last travelled across this road, and at that time we had a camper van, as I recall, many years ago. And I can't say I remember one single thing about it then. It was just another road, but on a bike you do tend to remember most things about the roads you travel. It's one thing else, well, one of the many things I'll say about riding on a bike to tour the country. You remember, and it's a physical experience where you're travelling. You do tend to remember things very, very well indeed, whereas in a car or a camper van, it's just more scenery rolling past the window really. Whereas when you're in the bike, you're kind of immersed in the whole thing, the sights, the sounds, the smells. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Best way to travel. come away from the Fery Bridge and head closer to the township of Hanmer Springs, we're starting to see a little bit more signs of civilization, and one of those signs of civilization is one strong memory I do have about coming back here in the camper van was we stayed at the Top 10 holiday park, and I get unduly excited to actually recognise the spot right there. So yeah, many years ago that was where we stayed in Hanmer. This time we're staying a little bit closer up in the township, in fact directly opposite the Hot Springs Thermal Resort, and had a good time in there. We visited with my niece who works in the resort, and then back across the road met up with the rest of our riding crew, and we had some drinks and a really great meal further on up the road before refreshing ourselves, getting ready for our next ride up. Next leg from here is Nelson, so that might be coming to a video screen near you soon. Anyway, we've come to our accommodation, the Drifters Inn, and this is about where I'm going to leave this video to finish off as we roll to our parking spots. So hope you've enjoyed this little ride along. Take care out there, ride safe, have fun. See you next week.